Did your Pittsburgh Steelers grossly over-evaluate Kenny Pickett as a quarterback prospect coming out of college from the University of Pittsburgh, being drafted 20th overall by the Pittsburgh Steelers in the 2022 draft? Welcome back to Mike Drop Sports, everybody. I'm Jason. Your Pittsburgh Steelers at times are loyal and loyal to a fault, as we've seen them have the same head coach for a very long time, even with mediocre success. Very, very mediocre results with Mike Tomlin. And now you see the Pittsburgh Steelers really pinned and locked to a quarterback that maybe that they grossly over-evaluated. A guy that possibly isn't the guy that they think that they got. A guy that was a University of Pitt alum. A guy that shared a practice facility with the Pittsburgh Steelers over the years, to where they looked at him as that hometown kid, as that hometown boy, man, coming across, literally across the building and joining the Pittsburgh Steelers after a career at Pitt that spanned 5 seasons. Only throwing for 4,000 yards one time. And you know, quarterbacks in college can usually put up monster numbers, especially the good ones, the guys with a lot of potential. Usually they put up shit tons of yards and they're very consistent over their time inside of a college football program. Pitt isn't one of those programs that is a huge shining star, a big monster Goliath type team inside of NCAA football. That's not the team that he played for. The Pitt Panthers have had average success under Narduzzi. They've built up a little bit. They've had some relative success with Kenny Pickett winning the ACC championship, things of that nature. But did the Pittsburgh Steelers jump the gun and overestimate Kenny Pickett? And now you see this team, again, guys, they are so loyal that maybe they are blinded by their own loyalty. Maybe they are blinded by their own processes. And they see Kenny Pickett as this ultra high potential type guy. And I think that they've grossly misjudged Kenny Pickett. And the scouting department maybe have failed in that spot. Maybe Mike Tomlin was so blinded by, hey, he's a hometown guy, let's go, let's get him. Because he was ultra excited about getting him and drafting him and picking him up. Maybe the ownership group and the Rooneys didn't want to make the mistake like they made with Dan Marino and pass on another Pitt quarterback that could go on and possibly have a big-time career. Were the Steelers blinded by all of those variables instead of actually truly evaluating Kenny Pickett's play and his attributes? I know people can overcome certain things inside of their own skill set, size, weight, arm strength. Maybe they can overcome that with being ultra smart at the quarterback position. There are certain things that guys can overcome with hard work and determination. I understand that. And I am all on board with that. You've seen guys like Doug Flutie who come into the league, super small guy, but be able to have some success in the NFL, in Canada, in the CFL. Guys like that. Guys that have come in and done things that maybe many didn't pick them to do. And maybe the Steelers had that hope whenever they were evaluating him, to the point that it just kept blinding them even further and further, to where their heart was set on getting Kenny Pickett. He's 6'3", guys, a guy that's 220 pounds, so he bulked up a little bit in the offseason last year ahead of the 2023 campaign. I'm just not sure that this Pittsburgh Steelers correctly evaluated this guy. And like I said, he's only thrown for 4,000 yards one time at the University of Pittsburgh, guys. One time. And it gets me troublesome. And you look at Kenny Pickett's numbers as I have them here sitting in front of me. And he's played career 25 games. In the 2022 season, he played in 13 games, completing 245 passes out of 389 attempts. And he completed 63% of his passes for a very dismal 2,404 yards, averaging 6.2 yards a catch or a throw. That's pretty bad. He had 7 touchdowns in that time frame to 9 interceptions, which is absolutely ridiculous too. That is a lopsided figure. He was sacked 27 times, guys. Okay, we'll give you that. His QBR was 53.6. The stats in 2022 really didn't show you a lot of hope. What they were hoping for was those late game heroics that Kenny Pickett could perform, getting his team back in that fourth quarter and getting a W. But the Steelers still remained mediocre. Even with that, they still lost games. They still weren't shining inside the AFC North. They were still relying on help to try to get into the playoffs, and they were unable to do it in 2022. And then you look at 2023, a season in which Kenny Pickett played in just 12 games, injured, several times, but he missed games, guys, and he's not healthy a lot of the time. And availability is your best attribute, but Kenny Pickett has been injured in both of his seasons that he has been the Pittsburgh quarterback. Concussions, ankles, all that kind of stuff, knees, the whole 9 yards. And in 2023, he had only 324 attempts, and he completed only 201 of those attempts for a 62% completion rate, guys. And guess what? He threw for even less yards in 2023, playing in only one less game, guys. And he threw for 2,070 yards. And he only had 6 touchdowns to 4 interceptions, guys. 6 touchdowns to 4 interceptions. That gives Kenny Pickett 13 touchdowns throughout the course of his 2 years as the Pittsburgh Steelers franchise-type quarterback. How, if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers, can you remain loyal to those statistics regardless of the offensive coordinator, regardless of the head coach? Those stats are pedestrian. They are horrible statistics, and they can't even be argued. You can't really say that Kenny Pickett has some great potential because you don't see it on the stat sheet at all. Nothing that's screaming out to you that this guy is going to have a lot of potential and be able to get things done. When you saw Mason Rudolph come in for those last 4 games, you saw the Pittsburgh Steelers actually be led by a real NFL quarterback. And you saw what the team was able to do, 3-1 down the stretch. Losing in the playoffs, yes, but within 1 touchdown of the Buffalo Bills inside of that playoff game that could have went either way if the defense would have got a stop. Mason Rudolph threw 1 interception during that time. 1. But he guided the Steelers to get into the playoffs. Yes, they still needed help, but that was another curse of their mediocrity throughout the season. And the Steelers had opportunities in that season to really bolster their record, and they failed in many opportunities. Bringing in Mitchell Trubisky, grossly underestimating Mason Rudolph's ability, relying in that you paid Mitchell $10 million plus to come in and be the quarterback per season, and that you had to go with him. And that was another bad move, personnel-wise and situationally, by Mike Tomlin. But this video is about the Pittsburgh Steelers being so grossly overestimating Kenny Pickett's abilities in my eyes. And they are so blinded by their own processes here. And I love the way the Pittsburgh Steelers handle business. I love their loyalty. I love the way they just do things, man, inside of the NFL. They are a model franchise in my eyes in some aspects. However, they are loyal to a fault at times. And I'm all for giving people chances. I'm all for giving people second chances, maybe even a third chance. But the Pittsburgh Steelers have to recognize right now what Kenny Pickett hasn't done and why that he may have not gotten these things done. And I give you, again, the Matt Canada thing. Okay, I give you that. But you can't blame everything on the coordinator. You can't blame everything on the roster. Guys, you just can't. 13 touchdowns over 2 seasons is totally unacceptable, no matter what situation you're in. Even the worst of the worst teams don't average some of these numbers. They just don't. And it's absolutely mind-boggling to me that the Pittsburgh Steelers hold such loyalty and such respect for a guy that hasn't produced really anything. The only thing that you can say is that he has had some fourth quarter drives that have gotten the job done and got the Steelers in the W. I get that, and I'll give him that. But when you look at how Mason Rudolph played as opposed to what Kenny Pickett did, Mason's 5 touchdowns to 1 interception, Mason's ability to lead and get the team underneath him to where they were following him and really letting him be that leader on offense. You're not seeing that with Kenny Pickett. You're seeing frustrations by the wide receivers because they know they are not getting the ball. You're seeing frustrations from the offensive linemen because you had a quarterback in there that was bailing on clean pockets with happy feet that just wasn't comfortable. You had a quarterback in there that was missing wide open guys continually. And guys, when you haven't had a defense like the Pittsburgh Steelers had in 2023 to start the year, you wasted a golden opportunity because you don't get defenses that are that good, and you put them out on the field and you put them in a compromising situation so much that it hurt them badly. And by the end of the year, they were just a shell of themselves, and they were absolutely defeated, and they weren't able to get that one stop in Buffalo to let the Steelers have a chance to claw back in that football game and tie it up late in the fourth quarter. But you see now the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to probably remain loyal to this guy. They are going to continue to be blinded by the fact that they drafted him in the first round and that there has to be potential and that they can't be wrong. Well, there is a newsflash for the Pittsburgh Steelers. You can be wrong, and it's okay to be wrong. But you need to admit that wrong and fix that wrong ASAP. Because what you've done with Kenny Pickett may be a disservice to him. Maybe leaving him with Matt Canada stunted his growth. Maybe throwing him in a little bit too early. Maybe Mike Tomlin didn't develop him right. Maybe they put too much hype on Kenny Pickett's shoulders. Okay. But the numbers don't lie, and they speak for themselves, and Kenny Pickett hasn't proven anything that would make you want to really be excited for the 2024 season as him being the franchise guy, being the starting quarterback week one. It's just not something that you could get pumped up about if you're a fan, at least most fans anyway. And I think there's a lot of support for Mason Rudolph out there. I think there's a lot of people that are really jockeying for Mason Rudolph to be back in the black and gold for the 2024 season. But I'm not really a fan of bringing Mason Rudolph in and just allowing Kenny to still have the job, because I think you're going to create a bunch of drama inside of that building, and I think you're going to start the season off on a very poor footing. And I think that could be a big problem for a head coach like Mike Tomlin headed into the last year of his deal and has had no success since 2016. That was the last time he's had a playoff win. And as the Pittsburgh Steelers march on and as they show you what they're about, that is not an acceptable statistic. They don't really value that type of play. And just being good isn't good enough. And they've really reeled themselves back a little bit and just accepting the mediocrity. And I think it's time for the Pittsburgh Steelers to finally realize the error of their ways and realize that they've put too much faith into Kenny Pickett. And that maybe we, the fans, should start to see also that Kenny Pickett is not what the Pittsburgh Steelers have propped him up to be. Now, if Kenny starts and I end up being dead wrong, fine, I will admit that 1,000%. And if Kenny Pickett is the starter week one, I will fully support him. But yet I will still critique his play for sure. But I will fully support him and cheer for him, as I expect most of you would too. Because why? We want to root for this team. We want to root for the Steelers as a whole. We want to bring them up with our support. But the Pittsburgh Steelers, guys, have to realize the error of their ways and realize that they're not always correct on everything that they do and that they need to fix it before it's too late, because if you keep wasting time with Kenny Pickett and you continue to wheel him out there expecting a different result, that is insane. And it sets the franchise back years every time they do it. It's time for the Pittsburgh Steelers to go out and make sure they secure at least Mason Rudolph for the 2024 season. It's time for them to make sure that they have a contingency plan in place. Otherwise, the 2024 season could be a complete disaster with Kenny Pickett. It could just be another average season, and I deem that to be a disaster in my eyes, especially when you have the world's best defender in TJ Watt. You have guys on defense that could do good things. You have guys that are weapons on offense. And you have now Arthur Smith in place to hopefully bring that offense back up to a predominant standard or predominant role inside of the NFL, being up in the top 5, 6 offenses, throughout the league. The Pittsburgh Steelers got to figure it out, guys. And I'm not sure that they aren't too blinded by their own ways to be able to fix this. And I think that they really are. And I think the Pittsburgh Steelers have grossly overestimated Kenny Pickett and his ability to produce for the Pittsburgh Steelers as the franchise quarterback. All right, guys, we're going to wrap this show up. Thank you guys so much. Tune in live tonight, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for our live show here on Mic Drop Sports as we dive into more Steelers talk, more NFL talk, and we will really dissect this. Actually, guys, we're not going to be able to do the live show tonight at 6:30. I have basketball practice 6 to 7. Look for the live show. I'll post it. I'll post it in the comments or in the community section. So look out for that. And also, I will get it set up to where you'll be able to see. So turn on your notification bell. I'll figure out a time for that. This is our last youth basketball practice of the season as we go into the playoffs this weekend with my 3rd and 4th grade boys who have really come together and really started playing good basketball. And I'm really excited about what this weekend is going to bring for them because, guys, there are very few memories in life that you can hold on to that nobody can take from you. And I know some people say it's just youth sports. It is what it is. Just go out and have fun. And I'm all about that. I want them to have so much fun. That is the key. But there are memories that you can't let go, that you can't waste the opportunity to gain those memories. And this is one of them. You got to go out there and you got to work hard. And I hope that I've taught them over the course of the season that that's what you got to do. Work hard and try to grab and keep a hold of those memories, those things that nobody's going to be able to take from you for the rest of your life. And you're going to remember those things. And I really hope that they really remember that, and that's what they take away from this season: to work hard, have fun, and to not let moments pass you by, and to always seize that moment and hold on to it forever. I hope that that's really what they get out of this year from the coaches here on our staff of coaches for our 3rd and 4th grade guys. They have been outstanding, good young men. So very proud. 2-game winning streak going into the playoffs. I really think they're poised for some success. So good luck to them. Guys, throw it in the comments. Give a good luck to the 3rd and 4th grade boys basketball team for Cheat Lake Elementary Schools League, the Cheat Lake Youth Basketball League, and give them some support in our comments section. Give them some words of encouragement, and I'll show them some of your content or comments. So maybe that'll give them some encouragement, and it'd be a cool thing for them to see. So guys, again, I'll post what time the live show will be tonight. Maybe we won't do it. We'll see. But I definitely got to do this basketball practice. But last night's live show with Sean was super fun. And we're going to keep on doing it, guys. It's just building, man. And you guys are kicking ass. And we are almost to that 2,000 subscriber mark. I never thought we'd hit that, man. And we are almost there. And we've been gaining like 50 subs a day, guys. 40 subs a day. And it's been so cool to watch the rapid growth of Mic Drop Sports. And without you guys, it would not be possible. And I am still so shocked by how much it's grown and how much you guys have helped me. It's so cool, man. It's so cool. And you guys should give yourselves a round of applause because you guys are the ones building this channel. And it is super neat to see, man, for sure. We are going to put, I want to say this before we leave too. We are going to put some content out that probably won't be sports content that you don't have to watch if you're not interested. I just am going to put like some content out and put it in a different playlist with my YouTube journey and how to build your channel and things of that nature, just to give other creators that are maybe trying to do the same thing in this Steelers niche, and just maybe some info and how to get it going and maybe how to work things throughout YouTube. So I'm going to try to do that type of content here in the next few weeks, just for people to enjoy, and hopefully it helps somebody out there. If it helps one person get a channel going, that'd be all good for me. It'll be worth doing the content. So again, guys, I'm Jason. This is Mic Drop Sports, and until next time, peace.